TGIF, everyone. We will get started shortly. While waiting for people to gather, let me tell you about Regime Week. On Monday nights from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Cerulean Gray discusses political, social, and economics on his channel, Gray Regime. Tuesday night is the 1/3 show with DeAndre at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on his channel, Just DeAndre, where he discusses articles and has a series of particular topics. Wednesday night is a doubleheader. DJ Music's internet radio station, Classic R&B Jams, broadcasts the shows On the Beat and Keep the Beat. On the Beat showtime is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and hosted by DJ Music along with co-host Char Willie, where they discuss things going on in the news. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the segment Keep the Beat, hosted with Char Willie and Classic Ruby. They discuss certain songs, tell stories, and take you back down memory lane. There is an interactive chat room with emojis and GIFs. There is also a lot of twerking in that chat room. The show is wild. You do have the opportunity to financially support the channel in order to help it grow. So, in the very least of that matter, please like, share, and subscribe. If you need advice for yourself or a friend, send an email, JustAskChar@gmail.com. Thank you everyone for joining the show. And now, here's your host, Char Willie.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. TGIF, everyone. What's happening and what is going on? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. I can see the ground in Chicago. Most of this snow is melted because we had some 38, 42 degree temperatures this past week, and it's been wonderful. I'm telling you, you don't know nothing about that. It's still winter. But I also want to point out that there is a lot of scams going on. And I say it quite often, probably get tired of me saying it, but I just have to warn you because it's just so many out there. People are trying everything because it is tax season. A lot of people are trying to get in health insurance. There are people that are trying to get funds from this stimulus package, that the part that has been passed. And there are just so many people that are just getting it. They're really getting it. And I just needed to point that out. Now, when you order something, you get a text message. It's like it's almost automatic now. They're going to give you a text. So you order something, they're going to text you and say, oh, your order is, thank you, your order's being placed and all that. But see, they sell your information as well. So you'll start getting texts telling you, oh, your Apple account. Oh, there's something wrong with your Apple ID. You need to click right here. Please do not click right there. I'm saying, let's see, did I write down some of the stuff? The emails are just ridiculous that I'm getting. I'm getting a lot of emails. I'm now getting texts. I did mention that. And then the phone calls, they're really starting up too. So I'm just telling you guys, I really want you to be careful because it can seem innocent. And I know a lot of people will make fun of someone. Oh, they were stupid. They did that. But some people don't know. They'll look and it seems so innocent. Like, oh, wait a minute. I got an account with, Apple. What? Somebody did what? And they'll click on it. So I understand. But I just want to warn you all, I can't say it enough. Stay simply unique. I can't say it enough. And I just want to make sure you understand because they're trying all kind of stuff now. Healthcare, I've been hearing stories. People will try to get healthcare, and it's not even healthcare. It's just some type of card that says, "Hey, you get a discount on prescriptions." And I'm just telling you, I hear a lot of horror stories. Only so much I'm able to say. So what I'm saying to you, please be careful out there, everyone. I really want you to. Please. Okay? Now, speaking of scams, it'll be interesting tonight, the show. I think so. I would love to hear what some people have to say. Don't be shy, join on in, come on up. It's all right. Give your opinion. And I will be making a few comments. I got my wine chilling. So hey, I got some stuff to say. And the only thing really I'm pointing out is people are people. You can't stop that. I don't care where you are. Human nature is human nature. That's what I want to point out tonight. So I do not have, let me see, do I have it? Because I think we have our guest. Let me see, our co-host. Let's see. I got to get her all signed in. Hopefully I can get this ready for you without too much delay. Uh-oh. You know what? I may not be, oh, it is up. Okay, so all right. I think it's up. Am I talking too soon? Where's your hand clap? Oh, okay. We got you. Whew. I got a little worried there. All right. All right, people. Without further ado, you know what to do. Stand up, raise your hand up in the air, and wave them like you just don't care. Because we have the lovely, the beautiful, the wonderful Classic Ruby, everybody. Classic Ruby.
Hey, Classic Ruby, you can get this started. Everybody's ready to party tonight.
All right. All right.
How you doing this evening, Char?
I am well. I'm very glad that it's Friday. Get me a little rest. Yes, yes.
Oh, me too. I know I don't have a job, but like I sympathy feel tired for all you people who work. It's like I'm a very empathetic person, but
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
right? I try. I try. So,
Well, thank you so much.
mm,
Now for tonight, we'll be talking about the landlord, and he acquired a tenant. The tenant was already there. It is what it is, and he also acquired some of her problems.
oh boy.
Oh yeah, you know how that can go. It is what it is. You inherit it.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So hope it's going to be enjoyable for everyone. I think it will be. So let me set it up, share my screen and the audio and the window. Bam. All right. Okay. So there's the landlord, everyone. Yeah, it is him. All right. Are we ready to begin? Let's do it.
Mm.
Yeah.
The plaintiff, Michael Martucci. He says he helped a tenant of his out by making some loans to her so she could buy furniture and a television. When he tried to get her to pay him back, she posted their conversations on Facebook for the whole world to see and slandered him something awful. Well, he knew then and there the only way he was going to see his money again was by suing her. So that's just what he's doing for the $5,625.47 he's owed. This is the defendant, Sarah Wilson Ware. She says the plaintiff bragged that he has an abundance of money and he lavished her with things as gifts. One day, though, he stripped down completely naked in front of her and her cousin. And when her cousin denied him sexual relations with her, he changed his tune and demanded money. Oh, him? Yeah, right. She's accused of taking, but not giving. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $3,600 for all she's out.
Tucci, how long has Ms. Wilson Ware been your tenant?
I purchased the property approximately 3 years ago, and she was an existing tenant.
She was already living there. Are you still living there now, or you've moved?
No, ma'am, I moved.
Okay. So during that time, you guys kind of developed like a friendship, right? Like you were hanging out, you were loaning her money. It was.
No, not during that time. About maybe August, Sarah
Of what
posted
year?
of 19. Sarah posted on the internet on Facebook that there was a domestic disturbance at her house. She posted pictures of the house being beat up and mattresses being knifed and stuff like that. She reached out to the community and said, I have no way to get to work, no one to babysit anymore because this person that had done this damage was kicked out of the house at this juncture.
Okay. All righty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got stuff going on in your apartment, your house, whatever, and you post it on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
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 Okay. All right. I just, yeah.
Well, I just want to post. I want to listen. So two things I latched onto from their little opening lines. He used the word loaned. She used
Yes.
the word lavished. They're both L words. They mean very different things. Okay, so I just want to start there.
Okay. Hope you guys have your listening ears on, in the words of Judge Judy. All right, we'll continue.
I came forward and said I could at least get you to work, until you can figure
Were
something
you paid
out.
for that?
No, I was not paid.
You were just helping her out?
I was just helping her out, yes.
Okay. Why?
Because I knew of her as a tenant and, everything was decent, I
Okay.
was just being a
All right.
good
And then at
Samaritan.
some point, she tells you her tale of woe on her couch and television that she bought on a payment plan, which if she didn't finish paying, it was going to double.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then you loan her the money.
Yes.
According to you, you loan her the money.
Yes.
According to you, he gives you the money.
Correct.
Why would anybody give you the money? Why would anybody give you, we're talking about $1,500 worth of stuff. Why would he give it to you rather than loan it to you?
Well, when he gave it to me, he had asked me to come over to his house and we developed a relationship. We were friends. He was dating a girl, Brittany, at the time and was going through some things. And I told him I didn't want to come over because I was crying that day. I was going through some things. Yes, I just ended a breakup or whatnot. Well, then when we got over there, he asked what was
Who's
wrong. Me and my daughter.
You and your daughter. How old's
Yes.
your daughter?
She's 2.
Okay.
When we got over there, he had asked what was wrong. I just told him, you know, being a single mom, not having no help, it was getting rough, and it was a start with 2 kids. And he had asked, you know, what could he help with? And I told him nothing. All I need financially is I have my furniture to pay off, and it's doubled if I don't pay it. I said, but I don't want you to pay it because I don't want nothing over my head.
Was this a loan or a gift?
No, it was a gift. It was not a loan.
But okay, he says it was a loan. What do either of you have any proof of what you're saying? Because if not, I just have to look at the circumstances and try to figure out if it's in fact a loan or a gift. When it's $20, a gift is pretty probable. When it's this kind of money, it's pretty improbable because people don't just rain money on other people.
I do.
So there's a favor to fronting you the money so you don't have to pay double. But do you have any text back and forth where, you know, he says, you don't have to pay me back?
I mean, he doesn't say in general you don't have to. Well, he says right here that his friendship was true. He says, sorry, I'm not beating you up over by means, but this is through $25 I had asked him to borrow for my son's haircut before school. And he says, I just can't have $8,000 credit bill and empty hearted and people only contacting me when they need something. I'm just not living that life anymore. And then, like I told him in here.
I'm sorry. I had asked you if you had any proof by text that this was a gift and not a loan. Yes or no? Because things you read have nothing to do with what I'm asking. Do you have any texts there that say, this is a gift, you don't have to pay me back?
I mean, he never said it was a gift. No.
Oh, if he never said it was a gift, why wouldn't you have to pay him back those 2 things?
We never had a loan. I never asked him to pay anything. I mean, I have texts where I say, I never asked you to pay anything. And I told him I didn't want him to pay.
Okay, but you let him pay it. So the question is, are you supposed to pay him back or not? That's a legal question in front of me.
I mean,
and if you're saying he never said it was a gift, that legal question has been answered. Now, according to you, she did not pay October, November, or half of December when she was there.
That's it.
And so you're suing for that rent. Did you pay that rent?
No, I did not.
Okay, and why did you not pay that rent?
Well, I moved out November 17th. Actually, the keys were there November 16th. I moved everything November 15th because he was harassing us to get out. And I was cleaning his other apartments, and helping him rent them out.
I'm sorry.
Okay, but I'm not understanding.
So
when had you cleaned another apartment?
Like
you're describing a situation where he's throwing you out, but then you're saying he's also employing you. So the first question to you is, what day did you move out?
November. I moved out November 15th.
Do you dispute that? Okay, then why are you suing for mid-December?
Because the lease clearly states that I'm supposed to get a written 30-day notice.
Oh, and she didn't give you notice.
No, all she did was send me a.
Did you give him 30 days notice back in October that you were moving November 15th?
No, he got a notice way before that. In August.
Okay, prove to me the notice. Why do you keep looking at him? Prove to me that you gave him notice like you're supposed to, the 30 days notice.
Actually, I mean, we were discussing about me moving. I had
do
just
you
got
have
my
proof
house.
That you
I do.
I don't know how to make my question more simple. Do you have proof that you gave him the 30-day notice?
I mean, here's conversations between us about what he has to do in the house
that
I was leaving.
Do you have proof that you gave him 30 days notice? This is my last chance that I'm giving you to look through your evidence.
I do, ma'am.
Good. Take your time, look through the evidence.
Thank you.
Give me proof that you gave him in October, notice that you were leaving in November. Okay, and while she's looking for that, let me ask you, you're suing for $3,150 estimate from a contractor for what?
There was during this domestic dispute that they had, there was significant damage done to the.
Do you have pictures of that damage?
Yes.
Show me the pictures inside of your phone. And what about this door jamb, which obviously looks like someone bashing the door in? What up with that, ma'am?
I can't see that.
See, the damage on the outside walls is very consistent with the damage on the inside walls.
Okay, that's paint coming off the wall.
Okay,
that's just
that is
off.
Somebody or something hitting the wall.
I mean,
both of those pictures are somebody or something hitting the wall.
Well, I have a 2-year-old, but as far as
your 2-year-old doesn't have that kind of strength, babe.
That is paint coming off the wall. That's not, and that was not there. Yeah.
Yeah. Who am I going to believe? You or my lion eyes? Come on.
I can't pull.
Okay, no, I would agree with you on this one that this is paint coming off the wall. This one is the one you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but this is not. This is paint coming off the wall because someone hit the wall, and this is not your 2-year-old span because this is too high up for a 2-year-old. I don't know. I showed it to you already, but you were so busy denying it that you didn't take a good look. Now take a good look.
No, that was, I don't know. I don't
What do
know.
you think the guy did? Take a bat
tell
and bash
you.
things up just so he could have the, he destroyed the place so that then he could go after you to make you pay it. Is that it?
I don't know, but what I do
It
know
doesn't
is
make sense though, right?
I have a video. Like, why would I go and clean
Did
and
you
then
find the
destroy his-
notice? Yes or no?
Yes, I actually did.
Let me see it. In October, giving 30 days notice.
I want to say, here we are,
Or
9/28.
before that.
Told him I was going to pay this month, and you see the date right here. That one's 9/28.
And did you leave?
Actually, October was paid for because I
I'm
cleaned
gonna
his
pay
apartment.
this next month. This is when? When do you send this in September? Okay, so you're talking about October, and you say I'm gonna. Do you see how maybe you should have a more professional relationship with a tenant than the one that resulted? Do you live there too?
No, no.
Right, so you don't even
This
live
is just
there
a business.
where
no.
it's not. Well, no, it's not just business. It isn't. I'm looking at the text. These aren't just business.
Uh-huh.
In fact, according to you, it got a little more. It got really busy business at some point. Tell me about that.
We were supposed to actually go to dinner and discuss our business that we were supposed to start, which was a cleaning business. And he invited my cousin to the dinner, and I told him that we wouldn't be able to sit down and go over everything that we wanted to get situated for the business if she was to come, because he's a drinker and so is she. And what happened was they drank, so I knew it was going to get messy, so I stayed sober. And then basically what happened is they got really drunk. He started texting his girlfriend with her and saying some off the wall things. And then when it all boiled down to it, he ran from the bar. He ended up at home. I looked for him for 2 hours. I finally got to his house. I had his keys.
Yeah, like most landlord tenants do. Go on.
I had his keys, his wallet, his house keys, and his car. So when we got to his house, he was passed out in his hallway. And I woke him up and told him to go get in the bed. Well, he went inside, got in his bed. Well, he got all the way naked, and then he came walking out.
Naked?
Yes.
And
my cousin Diamond was looking at him with her mouth dropped, and I turned my head because it's my landlord, and I didn't want to see that. And he kept trying to get her to come in the room, and she told him no. And he got real angry and mad and started attacking her, and that's when I jumped off the couch.
That doesn't sound like a particularly professional relationship.
Nope.
So let me ask you this. I'm going to pay this next month. That would be October. And I'm getting out in the middle. Just need to make enough to put my kids and I in a room until the house is ready. I'm washing my hands on every blanking thing alive. I'm going to clean your apartment, have it ready, keep the deposit. That deposit. I wish you the best. I'm getting a loan to start my cleaning business. Go back to your hood rat and hope she changes. And then it goes on and on and on.
Okay. Landlord.
Well,
Okay. Get some money. Pay for the furniture. It's not a loan. We actually got a loan for $25 to get his son haircut.
mhm.
And we got to go to dinner and talk about a cleaning business that we're going to put together. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Just checking, make sure everyone is listening. Okay.
Oh, no. I got to add something. Got to add the
go ahead.
Ruby special. Okay.
Oh, go ahead, girl.
Okay. So with that $25 that she borrowed for the hair, well, she didn't get to borrow it for the hair because she messaged him to try to borrow it for the hair. And his response was, I can't have an $8,000 credit card bill and all of these expenses and whatever when you only call me when you need something. That was his response at the time, right? At no point did he say right there, which was his golden opportunity, is, girl, you already owe me $8,000. Now you want to add $25 to that? The hell are you thinking? He just basically said, simping ain't easy, right? That's what he said. That was his message. His message was back to her, simping ain't easy. I'm ready up to my gills in simp debt. And you still ain't giving me none of the good. So if you're not going to give me none of the good, I'm not giving you any more free money. I swear to God, that's what I heard. I don't know if that's what y'all heard, but that's what I heard. Okay.
All right. That's what I'm listening to. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's
Mhm.
continue.
Did you give him a date that you were leaving? Because that didn't happen, what you say here. A, you didn't pay October. And B, right? You didn't pay October.
That's because October was supposed to be paid for the work that I done in his
Except
other
for that's not
apartment.
what you said in the text, right? I don't owe you October because of work I did before. You don't say that in the text. All right, what you say in the text is I'm going to pay October. So you're making it hard for me to believe that he owed you money from a cleaning. So you don't pay October, and you don't leave in the middle of October. You leave a month later. Where's the notice that you're leaving on the day you left? There isn't. Okay, so now tell me about your counterclaim against him for $3,600. According to you, he owes you for cleaning what apartment?
His other apartment down the street from my house.
Okay, and why is it $600?
Because it was supposed to be the rent for October,
What is your rent?
$600.
So if it's supposed to be the rent for October and you didn't pay rent for October, why are you charging $600? Why would you also make $600 when you didn't pay rent?
Well, he kept my security deposit.
Okay, so the security deposit is how much?
$600.
Right, and that's in a separate line item in your lawsuit, so that's not the answer. According to you, after this blow up where you're using the F-bomb 1,000 times and you're telling him you're leaving, but you don't leave when you say you were going to leave, and all this stuff happens, you tell him you're going to pay October, but you don't pay October. When all that stuff is happening, you say he hired you after that to go clean an apartment?
No. I was cleaning the apartment down the street from my house.
When?
It was November. Can I see the phone?
Yeah. While she's looking, did you hire her to clean apartments and mow lawns like she's saying?
Yes.
And did you pay her when she did that?
No, I did not. I gave her credit in my suit of $300 for cleaning an apartment. $600 to clean an apartment is just
Okay, well, what
she
was the
came up with
agreement
it.
between the two of you about how much credit she would get for cleaning an apartment?
$300.
That was the agreement. Do you have anything to prove what you're saying, like a text back and forth about, can you clean the apartment? I'll pay you $300.
No.
Okay. Now, when did she clean the apartment? After
was-
that, those nasty texts I saw,
No,
or
this
before?
was before that.
Okay. And you gave her credit you were planning on giving her credit for what, October? In October's rent?
I was going to pay her the cash for doing it.
Okay. So what was the agreement, that you'd give her credit or that you'd pay her cash?
Pay her cash.
And how much were you going to pay her? $300 for cleaning the apartment?
Yes.
And then how much for mowing lawns?
$100.
You have a total you're suing for. You are subtracting the security deposit, and you are subtracting $300 cleaning credit. Where's the $100 lawn mowing credit?
That credit was given in July when she did the cuttings, and she
So
paid
she reduced rent in July.
$500 is all she paid in July.
Is that accurate, ma'am?
Yes. It
Okay.
is.
So if that's accurate, why are you trying to collect the $100?
Because that wasn't the only time that I did the lawn.
You're going to have to prove that.
Okay.
So can you prove when else you mowed lawns? Because your lawsuit says 4 lawns.
I have text messages where I text him and I said that I was done. And that was
How does that prove what I just asked? If you want me to see that you did it 8 times and not 4 times, show me proof you did it 8 times.
Well, okay.
Yeah. All right. What is this a picture of?
That is the stove. If you scroll over, you'll see all the apartment, everything that.
Oh, that's the apartment you cleaned.
Correct.
All right. But why would it be $600? I pay people to clean. I've never paid $600.
It was $150 each day. It was literally.
Prove you took 3 days. How big is that apartment?
8.
Because my house doesn't take 3 days to clean. How big was the apartment? Come on. You know, when you do stuff like that, when we're quibbling over something ridiculous, I lose faith in you.
Ma'am,
I don't want to lose faith in you. All right. Slander and pain and suffering. Talk to me.
He told his girlfriend Brittany things about us on the internet. She started texting me off of
Like
his
what?
phone. For one, my house caught bed bugs from my daughter going to a sitter's, and he took care of that. But he let known, and his girlfriend Brittany posted a big post on the internet about me and my daughter.
What was she mad at? She thought you were into some funny business with him?
It was that night that he was texting her.
Do you have a lease that talks about what late fees you're allowed to charge?
Yes.
Go on. I'm sorry.
Not only that, but he kept showing up at the house, telling us to get out. I got him
Telling you to get out, meaning
get
what?
out of his house. Yep.
What happened? What blow up happened that he would tell you to get out of the house?
When all that happened with Diamond, and then that same night, he left, completely took off, and then I get texts from his phone from his girlfriend Brittany. And
Okay,
then
so
he texts me
everything
back.
went south between you two after that, then you didn't have a cordial relationship.
Correct.
I need to hear your whole case on slander, pain, and suffering.
He was just showing up at the house, and then his girlfriend was posting things on the internet about me and my children.
Right, but I can't hold against him something his girlfriend does.
It's just everything that he was telling her. And then I got all these text messages calling me about my name, basically going in, telling me I'm mental and I need mental health.
Was that from him?
Yes, everything's from him. And then not only that, but I had people calling they were asking, like he was asking around what was my new address. And then all of a sudden my truck was completely damaged. I had to turn it in and get a new car.
Do you have any evidence that was him?
I don't have any evidence.
Okay. There's no dispute that she left November 15th, right?
November, yeah. I got a picture November the 16th from her showing the keys and that she said she was out.
Okay. Do you have pictures of how it looked when it was rented to you? How long did you live there?
I moved in November 16th.
Do you have pictures of how it looked when they gave it to you?
I have videos.
Do you have pictures of how it looked when you bought the place? What her apartment looked like when you bought the place?
I have an appraisal, but I do not have it with me, which would have had plenty of pictures of.
Yeah, well, that would be good to
rooms.
have so that I know the condition it was in and can compare. But there are things that are obvious, destruction, and then there are things that I don't know about. We're done. On his lawsuit against you, I find that you owe the rent. You're unable to find any 30-day notice that you gave him. You said during one angry moment that you would pay October and be out in the middle of October. That isn't at all what you did. What he needed was notice of the day that you were actually going to get out so he knows when he can re-rent it. That's the concept behind notice. So you owe the 2.5 months rent. You owe late fees, not in the amount that you calculated because there was a security deposit, so that would cover the first of the late fees. So I've recalculated that. There are certainly damages that are there, and a lot of it is from whatever volatile relationship you allowed yourself, you were in and had in your house and on repeated occasions with your, was that the baby's father or no?
It was.
Yeah. And it's just a mess. It's not the amounts you're saying, but I'm allowing $1,000 for that. And on the couch and the television, no, he didn't rain that on you for keeps. That was just a favor he was doing so that you wouldn't have to pay double. Doesn't mean that you don't have to pay anything. So I'm adding that. I'm subtracting from this figure $300 of cleaning credit and $600 of security deposit, which takes care of two items in your lawsuit, the security deposit and the cleaning credit. It's not going to be the amounts you say. Slander and pain and suffering, I don't think you've proven a case for that. And the mowing of the lawns, you received a credit for that in July, and you're unable to prove to me that you did more than that after everything hit the fan. The most probative thing for me is what you say in the text to him. You say, I'm going to pay October, so I don't know. But he says, yeah, Judge, she's owed the cleaning, so we're going to put that in there. That leaves then, if I subtract the cleaning fee and the security deposit, a net judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $3,375.47. Verdict for the plaintiff, and you are winning on two items of your counterclaim in the amounts I previously said, and that's already being taken into account in the net judgment. $3,375.47. Verdict for the plaintiff.
$100 for.
Oops. I don't want the volume anymore. I just want to leave it right there.
Okay, listen to me a minute. All right, listen. I gotta say, I disagree with the judgment. I'll explain why I disagree with the judgment. Because if she is going to use assumptions based on vague text messaging and not official contracts, right, to invalidate her saying, I don't owe you no rent, then I feel like the $25 request for hair cut and then his response back, you can also make a very fair assumption. At that point, he is acknowledging how much money he has paid already on her behalf. And the only reason why he's complaining is because the only reason why she calls him is when she needs something.
Yes.
She never said you owe me that money. Never said you still owe me lots of money. Never said you didn't even start trying to pay me back. Never said any of the above. A. B. If someone owes you $8,000, okay? I don't care if someone owes you $2,000, $5,000, $500, and you say, listen, I got a property. Normally I gotta hire people to do stuff, but you can do that, you know? And then they do that. Does that go towards new money that they owe you, or does it go to the already huge amount of debt you owe them, or that they owe you? Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
the huge amount of debt that they already owe you.
thank you. So I don't understand why that was skipped across. Like she mowed lawns and you applied that to the rent in July instead of to her $8,000 of debt apparently that she owes. No, you would never do that. She'd be working off that debt, and you would have had her cleaning houses from way before July, because at the end of the day, from day one, that's what she would have been doing. She would have been working to pay off that debt and knock it down, so that way you don't have to output that money, because right now you have $8,000 sitting on your credit card that she owes you, and then you have to go output more money for someone to clean your house and mow the lawn. No, you wouldn't do that. You would say, okay, you're going to go and clean the house for free, and I'll knock down some of your debt. Instead of outputting that money to pay someone to clean the house, I'm going to output that money into paying off my debt that I've accrued from loaning you money. So I 1,000% disagree with that part of the judgment. I just do. I don't know. No.
We know the truth, but let's Vonda speak, and then I'll speak after her.
Hey,
Greetings.
Hey, Char. Hey, Ruby. Thanks for
Hey
having
there.
me.
Anytime.
Okay, you know what? This right here, we've heard it 1,000 times, if not a million times. This type of a quote unquote situation. Basically, she was going to get over whenever, however she could, without giving up any of her booty. And as long as he was willing to be a sucker and give her things, you know, quote unquote, that she didn't ask him to pay for, she was going to take it. And I think it got to a point where he realized, wait a minute, she really not going to give me no booty for all this, you know, stuff that I didn't gave her. You know what? She's full of it. I'm just going to sue her. And here she comes, knowing she got all of this quote unquote credit. She knows she got all this credit, you know, and she has the audacity to say, I didn't ask him for it. I didn't tell him to give me that. It was a gift. And you know what? When you're dealing with people like that, you're dealing with some of the lowest forms of people, because as long as you are willing to put out your wallet, they're not going to say, hey, no, put that away. They're not going to say that. And if you just sitting there blindly thinking, okay, well, maybe if I put this out, I might get some, you know, bonus booty. Not going to happen. You got to lay the expectation for the booty on the table from the gate.
Well, Vonda, you don't want to try to, you know, you don't want to scare the booty away. So, you know, you just kind of wait for it. Don't you think that's what the dude was doing?
No, you know what? And that's where he messed up, because, hey, he's a landlord. He done dealt with these types of chicks, and obviously he hasn't learned. You got to put it up. You got to put it up front. If that's the type of transaction he was looking for, and you know what? She wasn't going to offer booty, you know, like, oh, okay, well, since you knocked off this amount off of my stuff, here, you want some booty? No, she's not gonna do that. That's tax-free money.
Yep.
Tax-free money. And all she has to do is say, no, it was a gift. I'm a single mom, and you know, I'm working hard, and I worked for him too. You know, she's gonna throw that in there. She had no business taking these things from him, but you know what? He had no business giving it to her without some sort of arrangement or agreement, whether it be booty or she gonna work it off by cleaning the rooms. Somebody, they both lying. They are both lying. He expected some booty or he wanted his cash. She expected to skate through without giving him any booty, and she was never going to give him cash. She was never going to pay him back. She had no intentions on paying this man back.
I agree. I want to go back to the beginning of how this all started. So he's a landlord. He acquired these buildings, and he did not live there at all. So I'm wondering, because he has all their paperwork on his tenants, did he just happen to check everyone's social media and see that this particular tenant that you see on the screen there, you know, he's like, I kind of like that. Let me check, let's see what she's doing here. And he just watched and see what the woman was doing and who she's friends with and all that good old stuff, what her likes are and dislikes and all of that. And he's watching her on social media. That's what I'm assuming. And he sees that she puts all her business out there. I had a taco, got gas. I'm not going to go over there, you know, and buy it anymore. I'm going to cook my own, me and my child. We're going to do it this way. So he's watching everything she's putting online, which is all her business. And she goes as far to talk about me and my man, you know, my baby father, we got into it and he did this and he did that and all that. And Super Landlord decided to come to the rescue. Dun, 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 dun. Hi, I'm Super Landlord. Nice to meet you. What are your needs? Oh, well, you know, since you're, you know, giving, I'll take, you know, a couple thousand for my furniture. You know, it's going to double. I really don't want that to happen. All right, I'm Mighty Landlord. I'll help you. And that's what he decided to do. And it just continued, these little gifts and gifts. And let's also point out, and it's kind of going a little bit off kilter. I'll let it go after I just say it. A lot of these guys know their place. And they use what they have to hopefully win in the end. And I'll stop right there and you guys continue.
Super sip. He's a super sip. Super sip. He's super sippy. Yeah. Right? Let's be real.
So, you know what? I would have to agree with that, Ruby. And I am not a big fan of the word simp because I think it's overused. But in this instance, he was a straight up all day sucker. He was a sucker and he put himself, he was like, oh, anybody looking for a sucker? Oh, here I am. He volunteered.
He did. He was stalking her. He stalked her Facebook. What business did you have on her Facebook? None, sir. As Char pointed out, you were heavily attracted to this woman. Okay. And you were just hoping and praying. You were hoping and praying that woman broke up with that man and gave you your shot. And you know what happened? Is you found out that's why you were stalking. You were looking every day at that relationship status and daydreaming about all her pictures, okay? And then, oh my God, it finally happened. They broke up. And you're going to swoop in as the super simp, right? And you go save her, right? And in her desperation, A, for help, B, in her kind of like, you know, that vulnerable state, you just broke up with someone, you lonely, you probably brought over alcohol every time he came over, right? That you go give him some, right? And then when that didn't happen, well, it's okay. You know, you went back home to your girlfriend, slept with her and whatever, but you stayed on it because he has a girlfriend. That means this chick is hotter than his girlfriend, right? She's the impossible dream, and he finally has access to that impossible dream, and he is going to invest his resources, hide them from his girlfriend. His girlfriend's hungry. Well, baby, why don't you go down the road and get yourself some McDonald's? Grab me some while you're there, right? But then he's rolling over to this chick's house, picking up alcohol, some fillets for, you know, him, her, and the daughter. Because, of course, the daughter's got to eat right, too, you know, because you got to romance those single moms the right way. I mean, this is what he's doing. He did it. It's so obvious he did it. And again, when you look at, well, what went wrong? Oh, well, after all of that insanity at the restaurant, he ran away and fell down in the hall. And okay, and then he goes to his room and he comes back out butt ass naked, right? This was him. He had the liquid courage. He was finally ready to do it, but he forgot the rule. Sim number one rule: whatever moves you make cannot be with any form of witness, because you know your role. You know you are not good enough for this woman to ever publicly acknowledge she even slept with ever, let alone for you to come to her while her cousin is there to observe. Are you out of your mind? You screwed up your own game, and you were so humiliated and shocked back into reality and soberness, and you were mad at yourself, and now you took it out on her. But you messed up your own game. You're running a good long game, but you messed up rule number one.
Ruby,
You knew she was never gonna clean you.
I must say, I agree with you with regards to him messing up his own game. Now, I don't know if everyone saw the movie Set It Off, where Stoney needed money for her brother's tuition. She was raising her brother. She needed money for his tuition. So she was dealing with Nate, the used car salesman, and she was going to go and work for him. So before she worked with him, she said, "Hey, Nate, I'm in a bind and I'm going to need this money." Nate was like, "Oh, no problem. I got you." But I'm going to tell you what Nate did. Nate made sure that he had the booty lined up before he gave her the money.
Yep.
And she knew it. And when she knew that point came to it, she was like, "You know what, Nate, I just really need your help." He said, "Look, you ain't getting nothing until I'm done." Okay. And then the next scene was him hunching on top of her, and she walked home. She did that walk of shame and went home, but she had that money for her brother. And then a whole bunch of other stuff happened. But this dude did it wrong. He didn't line up his goods before he gave her the money. Nate was not playing no games. He was like, "Look, I'll give you the money, but it ain't going down until it goes down."
Right. And that's not her fault. In fact, I would go further to say that he extra messed up his game because he already gave her all the money. You cannot now turn around and in the simp game turn around and say, "Hey, remember that money I lent you 6 months ago?" Yeah.
That ain't gonna work.
Right, like you can't do that. It's not possible. It's already done. The opportunity, that was part of you building the relationship between you and her, so that way you would eventually have the opportunity later to trade that sex for money. That's what it is. You already did it. It's already done. That was your foot in the door to be able to be the friend to begin with. Like you paid, listen, he paid for the right to know her on even a semi-social level. He paid for that right. It was thousands of dollars. Was it overpriced? I don't know. I don't know the chick. Based on her appearance in court, it probably was way too much money to be her friend. But the point is that's what he paid for initially. And he got his money's worth. And then he ran away. Then he screwed up his game. He got all angry and hurt and because he can't hold his liquor. He embarrassed himself. Like, I don't understand at the end of the day why he thought it was going to go any differently. What I think is amazing about this whole entire story, though, is the girlfriend. Let's talk about the girlfriend. And when I mean the girlfriend, I mean Brittany. Okay?
Yes.
Let's
Okay.
talk about Brittany. So, your man has found himself his chocolate creamsicle that he's chasing. Okay? You have proof of this via text messages, this, that, and the next thing, right?
Facebook, yeah.
Facebook, whatever. I'm sure she was proving all of this. And your response as the girlfriend is to be going on long diatribes to put down the woman who is not your competition because she don't want your man, and stay with him though. Like, stay with him. Really? Okay. I would be furious, hurt, disgusted, something bad against him. that while I'm with him and he comes home to me at night and sleeps with me and whatever it is, that he's chasing some next chick and pouring thousands of dollars into her while he's getting me McDonald's at best. You know what I mean? Like, where are her priorities? Like, where's her level of self-confidence? Which is why, again, I know for sure that the chick, the tenant, is way better looking than his girlfriend. I mean, well, look at his face.
But you got to realize too, he talked about the tenant like a dog. He told Brittany, "Oh, she nasty. She got bed bugs and she got all kind of stuff going on over there." He talked about her. He made it seem like, "Oh, no, I wouldn't want a nasty old, wretched woman like that. She's disgusting, Brittany. I would never." So Brittany, Brittany ain't thinking nothing of it because maybe her flow of cash and what he was giving to her never stopped. He still kept it coming towards her.
I don't know. I'm looking at him. He doesn't look that expensive. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's got that much. Right? I mean, he wouldn't be drowning in debt with an $8,000 credit card bill he can't pay off if he just had it like that, So that means he didn't have it like that. But it was so worth it to pay for this fetish, right? Because I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it. It is what it is. When I look at this guy, and I see him chasing a non-white woman, I see a fetish. That's it. And it was worth anything because he understands inherently that he was never going to get this chance again. Like, never, ever get this chance again for him to have this kind of unprecedented access and time, because this dude looks like he has zero game at all, to try to woo a woman and not get in trouble with his girlfriend, right? Because that's the thing too, right? You have an excuse for being over there. Right, you're the landlord, so I got to fix a leaky faucet. I got to this. I got to that. You got a reason to be over there, so you can use that reason. And since, as you said, Vonda, you said, "Oh, she nasty." You know how Black women are. Ugh, right? So because you're doing that, she's thinking like you just want to get the hell out of there as quickly as possible. So it's giving you unlimited access to keep shooting your shot, getting shot down, and trying again tomorrow.
But he did it super wrong. I'm sorry, he did it super wrong. He gave her this money, and you know what? I'm going to say it was gifts. He gave her this money as gifts, hoping she would slide him some booty. He was hoping that she would slide it over to him, or he can introduce it, or he could just slip it in there some kind of way. Maybe just put the tip in, and she was like, no, thank you, Brad. Thank you for the racks, but that would be a no. I still love my baby daddy or whatever it was. She wasn't attracted to that man, but if he was gonna be, giving her money to take care of her needs, she was going to take it. And that's where I just think the problem, it led to them ending up in court and this whole thing. You know what? You're not going to give me any type of money and expect any type of thing back from me. The most I'm going to be given is a hello, and anything further than that is going to be my decision. It's not going to be based on any dollar amount or any so-called gift that you would have given to me. I mean, the whole situation I think is messy. But you know what? It's really, his place to prove that, no, these were legitimate loans. Here's the agreement. I have a text where she says she would pay me back. And hopefully, she ain't that stupid. She sent him no text saying she gonna pay it back. But you know what? She wasn't up on her stuff either. She wasn't up on her stuff either. She was just like, well, he can't prove it, but I'll take it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not faulting her that hard. And the reason why I'm not is because, again, so this is an inherited tenant. And when he first got there, this woman was there with her, child's father, probably pregnant because the kid's only 2. So now that's the situation she's in. right? Now, we don't know when the insanity started between the two of them, but obviously that wasn't her plan. Her plan wasn't for her to have a really acrimonious split with a relatively violent, crazy person. But now that's the situation you're in. It happened very suddenly. For the safety of you and your daughter, trying to reconcile that's probably not a great idea. So now you and alone with a 2-year-old with this rent that used to be covered by 2 people, and everything used to be covered by 2 people is now being covered by 1. So, you're not really in a great financial position. As she was, apparently very upset a lot. Now, was that game she was running or not? I don't know. Maybe she really did cry a lot in her spare time and cried to lots of people. Just whenever she answered the phone, she was crying. People was like, what the hell? But, ultimately comes down to really upset, like, these facts that were happening. Like, oh my God, now I'm going to owe double for this couch. I'm going to owe double for this. I'm going to owe double for that. And someone swoops in to save you when you are not in a position to pay anyone back for anything. Because if you were in the position to pay anyone back for anything, you could pay your original debt. And you have a daughter who's 2. And you and the daddy just had a really negative split, which means he's probably no longer involved with taking care of the kid. To me, I look at that and I'm like, I kind of understand why she would accept the kindness from her landlord. I kind of get it. Like, who else are you going to get it from? What was your situation going to be? At that point, it would be worse. So you accept it in that moment because you're vulnerable and you're in a horrible position and you literally don't know where else to turn. Like, it's not like she was accepting it later on. It was just a constant stream of money and gifts he just lavished upon her constantly, like she indicated at the beginning. Like, no. And then, she started working for stuff. She worked, like, man, to not pay the rent. Okay, I'm going to work some money. You know what I mean? Like, so it seemed like she doesn't have that attitude where she thinks, oh, you just keep showering me with stuff and I'll never have to give you anything. It was one large lump sum in a very vulnerable moment of her life. And then thereafter, when she needed a break on rent or whatever, she worked for it. So I don't fault her. I really don't. Definitely not the way I fault him. Definitely not.
Okay, I'm gonna make a comment, and then we're gonna add Chandra on in here. Now,
Hey,
life is life, and this woman was sitting at home, upset. She had things going on, and we know how a lot of the young people put their business on Facebook. I'm going to the store, y'all. Look at me. I'll be back. I got a flat tire. I'm on 63rd and Ashland. Okay, now I'm going to get some ice cream on 92nd and King Drive. They post everything that they do online. And I really think this dude, he had access to email because we do put that stuff on our application. It's in our file. And he was looking and checking her out. And this was his opportunity. He put his cape on, everything. He said, hey, I'm going for it. Now, not every man, and you got to look at that. Every man is not smooth. They don't know what to do. They have had their experiences in life and they just don't know how to do it. So they're more than likely, they'll just keep doing the same old thing over and over again. And a lot of times they get the same results. We see it all the time, don't we? Now, with that being said, she's at home. She gets a call, text, email, however the man reached out to her, knock on the door more than likely. Hey, I'm your superhero. Oh, thank you. What do you need? I saw that you posted that you had a fight. These things are happening. What do you need? Oh, I don't really need nothing. But, my furniture bill is about to double. I'll take care of that for you. I'm Superman. Oh, thank you. And that's what he believed that works for him. And that's what he tried. So he did that. Okay. Human nature, again, is human nature. Women are going to accept the gifts. Not all, of course, because we know the end result. But sometimes we accept the gifts until we know it's time to pay up. And I believe in this case, that's what she did. She accepted all the gifts and everything that she could until it was time to pay up. And then that's when she's like, oh no. And as you mentioned, Ruby, okay, let me go ahead and work off on the, some of this stuff. I'm going to clean this house and this is what's going to happen. So I'm going to do that. So yeah, I agree with that. So I just want to throw that out there. And I got a little bit more to say probably, but we're going to introduce Chandra. Welcome to the panel. Welcome.
Hey, whole corner. What's up? What's good? Let's see what Chandra's got to say about this craziness.
Yes.
They got him trapped over at work. Well, while we're waiting for Chandra to come back, I'm going to say this as well, because here's the thing, right? When I listen to all the assumptions that the judge made, I feel like she assumed wrong. And that to me is the most frustrating thing in this case in general, because I think that, we're pretty much all dancing around the same opinion, at least, which is ultimately, whether you think it's right or wrong for her to accept the free gifts, the point is she got them. Therefore, she should not owe them back because you gave a gift. Should you have given that gift? No. Should I accept it morally? No. But legally, am I responsible to pay you back? Also, no. Okay.
Now, good evening, everyone.
Good
I'd
evening.
like to start off with a song rendition. Please bear with me on the pitch.
Oh, no worries. Go ahead.
I'm
Sing.
gonna buy you a stove, oh, because I want to take you home with me.
All right. Get a hand clap for that. Let me find it. Where's the hand clap? Who moved the hand? Who moved my hand clap? It might just be me that moved it. Okay, there it is. Here it comes.
See, now, at least certain people along the YouTube streets can say that their stove came with certain conditions attached to them. But you know what? You pay somebody's furniture bill. You hope that couch that's there ends up being used in your favor. But if that's not explicitly stated up front, well, you just paid their furniture bill and you didn't get their signature on a loan. Sucks to be you.
Right?
Yeah.
Like hopes. You said that perfect word, hope.
This guy, I don't want to call him a simp, but he knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was trying to get. He knew this woman was in a disadvantaged position. He knew that she was in this negative relationship, and he decided that he, being the great landlord he could be, could get some by putting on the cape.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the Incredibles movie starts off, and when they're getting them suited up and stuff, and the ladies like no capes because people get sucked into vortexes and stuff because of the capes. No capes. I burned my cape a long time ago. There is no Captain Save-A-Ho left in me.
But okay, but I think that all simps know what they're doing, right? They're literally hanging in there as your best friend, as your confidant, as one person you can rely on and whatever, hoping for that vulnerable moment, right?
Well, here's something I will say, right? I'm going to give a shout out to one of the elder brothers of the space, author Alan Roger Curry, who titles a book "The Possibility of Sex."
Yep.
There isn't much a man won't do for the quote unquote possibility of sex. The possibility.
Yes.
If there's a chance, if there's just a small chance, a guy will run a marathon if he thinks that he might be able to get some after that marathon.
Yeah. And see, that's why I don't take the human element out of the situation. A lot of people like, oh, well, this should have happened or this should happen. It's business. It's this. The human element is there. Hormones. It is what it is. Nature. It is what it is. A lot of times as women, we trade sex for goods and services. Sometimes that's what we do. And I understand. I mean, I don't shame her or anything. We're just discussing it. And the guy, I'll say what, he's in his 40s maybe. This is how he does what he do.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
maybe he gets some good results sometimes, maybe he doesn't. But this was his way of doing it for that possibility, you know?
Mm-hmm. But I want to add to that, Shar, because we don't just trade sex for things, for goods and services, right?
Hmm.
Because we trade attention for goods and services, right? We trade our
That's
good favor,
services.
goodwill, right?
That's under services.
Yeah, that's what the service is. Yeah, it's one
Go
of the
ahead, though.
services that we trade back. No, I think the thing is, and this is part of the issue, but a lot of people kind of see it like, well, this is the only thing that women trade, but it's not. Because especially if someone is incredibly attracted to you or really likes you, likes being in your presence, really likes your home cooking, like there's lots of things women trade for goods and services. So, at the end of the day, for a woman to think, okay, because I mean, this woman did. I mean, apparently it got to the place where, he started getting upset because, she stopped contacting him to be friends. That's really, I think, what his issue was. Because, it's the way he phrased it when he was like, oh, well, if you're only going to contact me for, when you need something from me, right? So he doesn't care if you contact him when you need something. He's perfectly happy to give you that. He's been giving you that, but you have to give back what he originally is in for. And at the very least, he's in for your friendship, for your time and attention. And you stopped giving him your time and attention because, your life became less empty and, vacuous. And so as a result, that's really where his hurt feelings came in. And then that's where this extreme move came in, I think. Because I think if she had continued giving him the friendship, the friend attention, we would not have had this extreme drunken stupidity move.
I disagree.
Okay.
Okay, explain.
There is something that isn't said somewhere in the lines of this court case. The amount of times he propositioned her.
Okay.
No. We all know that at some point he goes, hey, we should get together. We should hook up. And because she feels indebted to him, instead of telling him a flat out no, she's like, oh, well, I just got out of a breakup. Oh, well, this isn't the time. Oh, well, I'm not really in the mood right now. And, oh, well, my daughter, I got to take her to do this. There have been at least 5 times, I can almost guarantee, in this situation where he tried to, get some kind of action with her.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of, weaseled her way out and kind of didn't exactly give him a direct no. And then at some point, she just gets sick and tired of him propositioning her and goes, no, I'm not really into you. And that is where he kind of changed his tune. Because you know certain people, right? Mm-hmm. What happens is when they think there's a chance of them getting what they're going to get, they start off and they're, oh, yeah, I'm nice to you, I'm nice to you, I'm nice to you. And then when they know that there is no chance of them getting what they want, well, why the hell are you calling me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know what, though? Because, and I agree with you, but I think that time was the naked affair. Because, I mean, I think they both agree that things got very acrimonious after the naked affair. But the naked affair was happening because they were going to kind of fully stamp out their business that they were going to start together. That didn't pop up out of the blue. That means they're still continually communicating with each other on a friendly and connected enough level that they've been planning a business together, right? So, I think that was really like the turning point. Whether or not she saw his advances as advances, I do think that she probably did see his advances again as advances, but that's why she pulled it back and like, okay, you know what? We're planning this business thing. You're my landlord. So I'm going to be less friendly because I don't want to give you the wrong impression now, but what I'm trying to get from you, and I'm seeing something in your eyes I didn't think I'd see because you got a girlfriend, or words coming out of your mouth when you're a drinker, because she said he's a heavy drinker, which means they've been drinking together on multiple occasions for her to know that. So I'm just gonna pull back on some of the more friendly stuff, and I'm gonna just kind of keep it purely professional. Let's just only talk about the professional stuff. But then she messes that up, of course, because then where did her bank go, right? So she still got to message him for stuff, and then she sees that's his line. His line is, "Listen, I'm okay being a free ATM, but the ATM is paying for your time and attention." Why do people pay for time and attention when we're talking about Sims? It's because if they're not around you, they can't take advantage of that one drunken moment or vulnerable time, right? And finally get to actually slide it in there. So, it's kind of like, I don't disagree with you. I just kind of like, it's the timing, I think.
I think that what happened is he shot his shot, and there's a lot of time frame stuff that's missing, unfortunately. A lot of stuff that we don't exactly know how many times he shot his shot at her to get shot down or to get let off easy, right? And as a result, this tension's there building up on his end because he's going, okay, eventually she's gonna put out, and then in his head, at some point, there's a breaking point where he realizes that she's not going to put out. No amount of money he spends on her. And see, the business, right? It was hit. She wouldn't come to him with a business idea. What he would do is say, okay, well, you saw how you cleaned that apartment last time. Well, you could make a cleaning business out of this, and I could probably front you the money on this cleaning business. We could become partners, but this is his way of forcing her to spend more time with him. So he's got this money, and he's putting this money in this quote unquote business idea. But guess what? If he's her business partner, he knows what she's doing 8 hours of the day.
Yeah.
So he has a reason to text her. He has a reason to be in contact with her. So this business is just a ploy, him sinking money into the possibility of sex.
Okay, that's true. That's fair. But, and here's my question now. If, right, given her stance, right, what she came into court to do, if he had been inappropriate on several levels, or several times, or had tried to cross that, don't you think she would have brought it up? Because they both said professional. They both said professional, right?
I don't think he ever shot his shot. I don't think he ever did.
Well, I think whenever he shot his shot, it wasn't over text, and he did it in person. He tried to do it in a sly way so he could back out of it.
No, I think she would have definitely said something. Oh, and he tried to date me. When I told him that I wouldn't date him, now he's trying to sue me. So I think it was just, he was being a hopeful Henry. Just being very hopeful that, okay, maybe, she'll like me enough and, I can just slide into, home plate. And it just was not going down. Homegirl was going to take whatever he was given to her. But she was not about to give him any type of booty. He wasn't getting it. There was no way.
Nope. And see, that's what I think too. I think ultimately, especially with the stance, because she brought up this naked story in 17 different ways in this 5-minute period. If she had other ammunition, she would have used it, especially when the judge was going for it, because you want to curry favor with the judge, but she couldn't, right? This is the only thing she could really refer to because it's the one time he was ever really inappropriate. And I think it's because he knows his role. He knows his place. And he knows that he's not the one, he can't do it. He had to wait. Like she said, oh, well, since I know he's a heavy drinker, then I'll stay sober. Like that, right? So that means she learned that very early on. And anytime he brought over the alcohol, he was hoping she would drink. He was hoping he would get her to that inebriated place so it would allow him to shoot a shot, because he knew he could never do it when she was sober. But she cleverly just would not drink then. Right. So I think she was, in a way, she was kind of cock blocking him herself every stage along the way. That way he could never have actually done it, because he doesn't seem like he has the cojones to do it when they're both sober or when she's sober at least. And then the one time he did, again, he was so wasted. He was asleep in his own hallway and blah, 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 and probably forgot the cousin was even there because he was just so focused on getting her, right? And then, came out and finally, baby, I've always wanted you, saying all kinds of off the wall stuff. I really wish they had gone into details more about what had happened in that scenario. Because he ran away twice. He ran away from the restaurant and then lying on the floor in his own hallway, got woken up. They tucked him into bed, poured him into bed rather, right? Walked away, thought, okay, good deed done. And he comes out naked as a jaybird, saying all kinds of stuff, which I think is I've always wanted you. You're the one I really love. You're the one I want to be with. That I belong with you and stuff. And in horror, when they were both just looking at him in horror, and he realized, oh my God, this is never going to happen. He runs away again, disappears for that night, and then comes back the next day. All of a sudden now he's gunning for her. All of a sudden now the girlfriend's gunning for her, all kinds of stuff, right? So it seems like that was the shot. I think he had to get that drunk to finally try to shoot it. And then when he did, it went so horribly wrong that, yeah, even now, he probably cries at night. Missing out on that shot. Like, not the money, the girl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was his way. That's what he thought would work for him. And I agree that possibility of sex that's what men do. A lot of men do that. And it's understandable. It's nothing, it's nothing strange about it. Not at all. It makes sense. It makes logical sense. It's just when it goes left, when the guy gets so angry and furious because he just didn't stop. He didn't cut it off. Then he gets angry at the woman right. So you want to, harm her, or it happens so many times it becomes a problem with just women in general.
Well, he would have had a lot less trouble had he just gotten himself a professional. He would spend a lot less money, because the dollars that he spent on her were hopeful dollars and he got zero return. Now, if he just gone to the real deal, paid up the money, got your stuff and moved on, they wouldn't even be in court right now.
Okay,
articles of prostitution.
I'm going to have to say one thing about that, Vonda. If he does that, it removes the part of him being needed. He wants to feel something. He wants to be looked at a certain way. So he can't get that. It's acting. Drop here's five. Well, okay.
She needs that Ben Franklin.
Okay.
I need that.
All right. We know it's acting. Just like with the sex doll. You can program that bad fella however you want. I like you, daddy, or however it sounds. Come on now. You programmed it to say that. So that isn't natural. He wanted something natural. I get it. He wanted to play hero. That worked for him. You see this all the time.
For an additional fee, he could have wrote a script and be like, okay, well, I'm going to give you this extra money. This is what I need for you to say. Because I'm trying to get a certain feeling.
That isn't natural.
He ran in with his wallet and just said, oh, don't worry. Tenant, I'll save you. And then when I save you, maybe you'll be nice to me. And she was nice. She said, thank you.
But he gave her, think about it. He got a lot out of it. For what the money he paid, he got a lot out of it until he didn't. And then that's when he complained. It's like, I'm fine with everything I'm getting. Okay, now I'm not. So now I'm going to complain. So it's okay. It's nothing, again, back to that. It was all right. That was his level. That's his level of comfort. You got to think about it. It makes sense. We're logically saying, okay, if you just want sex, pay for it. Okay, that sounds so simple. But a person as the human being part, you want the attention. You want to feel loved, needed, wanted. Those are natural desires. And he wanted that. And I'm pretty sure she gave him some of that in the beginning. oh, I really appreciate it. Oh, wow, you came over and you saw what happened. Yeah, my boyfriend did this, and oh, I'm so glad you came to my door. Oh, let me hug you. Oh, okay. Oh, anything you need? Well, and well, he did leave, and I got this furniture bill, and it's gonna double. I'll take care of that for you. Really? Because I really don't want you. No, I want to. Oh, okay.
Except for one thing, though. You're missing one thing. See,
What's that?
initially, he didn't come with the money. Initially, he came with free labor to help her fix up all of the destruction that the ex caused. Okay? And remember, because the judge asked, she's like, okay, so did she pay you for this? No, it was free. It was free. Why? I just want to help her. I want to help her out. She's a tenant of mine. She's a good tenant. So I just wanted to help her. Now, here's the thing. Okay. And this is the thing. We can sit there and forever say she knew what she was doing. But listen, if someone keeps repeating words out of their mouth constantly enough, right? They got a girlfriend over here. He said he was just being a good guy, right? He was there constantly helping her with the free labor. They developed a friendship as a result of that. Hey, I know you and stuff. His girlfriend was over at the house that day that he called her. Or was gonna come by the house the day he called her, and she was crying and whatever. And he was like, "What's wrong?" She said, "No, nothing. Don't worry about it. Like, it's just my problems. I'll take care of it." He came to her house to be like, "Yo, what's up? Really, what's going on?" So then, because he went through so much trouble to find out what the problem is, then she told him what the problem was. He said, "I will save you, girl. Right? Come be in my world." And so she said, "Okay." Right now. See, because I feel like it's very important the way that the story played out. I do. Because she told the story, he didn't disagree to any of these facts. So she didn't sit there and start putting on the feminine, I'm so lost and broken. From second one, he fell into those charms. Like, no. From second one of him meeting her, he was low-key stalking her, waiting for his shot. The second he got it, he swooped in over there. And he's the type of guy who plays the long game, and he slowly started building the repertoire, slowly started building stuff, right? I'm going to show you what kind of man I am slowly over time. That's what it is. Yeah. And I'll say this. I think if he had never I think what he did that night when he got super drunk and the nakedness and whatever, that wasn't part of the actual plan. It wasn't what he was supposed to do. When he screwed up his own plan, he knew he had killed his own shot. And that is ultimately what went wrong. I think his long game still had another year or so in it before he was ever going to start trying anything. Right? Because he'd have to get rid of the girlfriend.
He was going to be a business partner with her. He was going to have her working with him. And then, he was going to grow on her long term.
He never had a chance. I'm sorry.
No, we know this, right?
And looking at
him, he's that nerdy kid in the corner in high school, and she's the kid talking with the cheerleaders. Or she probably was the cheerleader.
Yep. Exactly. We know this. He did not know this at all, right? Everything in life had told him that if you can save a woman, she will be so grateful. Eventually, one day, she will repay you with sex, right? That's why he was willing to do everything he did for as long as he did.
Maybe that's how he got Brittany. We don't know. We don't know the nature of their relationship. He had probably Captain Save a Hoe with Brittany, and that's how he ended up with her. But now he's tired of her. She done put on like 40 pounds, and he's just like, okay, I'm looking for the next,
he put his S on the chest, but as soon as she put on 40 pounds, he's like, oh, I can't lift that much.
Yeah. Exactly. You know what? I'll say this. Brittany is probably, in his range. She always was.
Yeah.
Right. And he never would have had a chance with a woman. And I'm going to say again, I'm going to go back to the fetish thing, because I do think that, when you have a certain level of being prejudiced against Black women, young Black women, Black mothers, stuff like that, and you already have a prejudice, right? you can start building a fetish for that, right? You're gonna save them. You're gonna basically be their massa, right? And then at that point, they'll be so grateful for you for saving them from, homelessness and poverty and whatever. You're gonna be their savior. And I think that was tied into it, that fetishism of her. I think if she was a white woman who looked exactly the same, this wouldn't have happened. I do think that her race played a role in this. Just like I think the race of the two of them and them fighting played a role in him stalking her, because he said, oh yeah, there's no way that this is going to last forever. They're way too tumultuous, right? Way too. So I'm just going to wait. I don't mind waiting, because I think he said 3 years. 3 years ago, he bought the house. 3 years. 1 year ago is when that guy moved out. And the same day he was there. That was 2 years of waiting, y'all. 2 years of waiting. He's a patient man. He's a very patient man.
That is too funny. I'm sorry. I got to laugh at that. He was waiting all them years.
You know what? That's a lot of waiting for some hope.
Right? Hey, 2 years of waiting with nothing, right? Versus another additional year of waiting, but hey, you get basically constant contact or slowly building a relationship. She doesn't know you see it as like a relationship, but still it don't matter, right? She still talks to you, she texts you. We didn't get to hear about the text necessarily, but the judge said these are not professional, right? So at least it's on a friendly level, right? They're sharing, they're joking, they're laughing, they're talking about their life and loves and hopes and dreams, right? So for him, and see, for us, it sounds crazy that this might be a long game that was nowhere near done. But he was willing to sit there and stalk her for 2 years straight and like show up within the hour when she posted what was wrong with her life. You know what I mean? Like you're getting a lot more feedback. He's the kind of guy who takes very little attention from women and sees that as a massive amount of feedback back. Because it happens.
I agree with that.
That's scary. That's scary.
But it happens though. There's a lot of men like that.
It's scary when someone is so desperate, right? He's going, yeah, she talked to me today. Yeah. I'm 3 steps closer to that pussy.
Yeah, that's how some guys think. It is what it is. That's why I said everyone has their level. They do.
Oh, wow. You know what I just realized?
What's that?
So, you know that I mean, it's that stalker mentality that, okay, she texted me, so she's got to be into me. That it's almost a self-absorbed kind of thing. So when he puts the S on his chest and he gets any kind of response from her, he's taking it to mean that he's getting closer and closer to his ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Even though she's saying, hey, thanks for making sure that I don't lose my furniture, because, it would suck to not have a couch or a stove.
Yeah, it can happen. I'm not surprised at all. And I'm not sure about the girlfriend. I wonder, did she ever come over? Well, why would she come over? I just thought about they don't live in the same building. That's the other thing. They don't live in the same building. Wow. Okay.
Well, so he's the landlord, right? And he likes to, it seems like he likes to keep his women compartmentalized, right? The girlfriend is the stable. What was it that broke? What's his name called it? It was Broke Genius who called it in-house pussy. There we go.
Okay.
So he had in-house pussy, right? But he didn't really, the in-house pussy is, we probably say on the level of a 3, and this pussy that he wants is she's like 8, 9, right?
Okay.
So he's got the in-house pussy, right? And that's probably one of those relationships where he's not getting all that much anyway, but
and he bored with it.
Yeah.
I wonder if he just doesn't even really need much. He's more about the attention part of it than the actual do. I'm thinking he's that type of guy. He's probably not able to really perform it,
Why we gotta take shots at the dude's performance?
I I don't know. I'm just saying. It's a
It's not a
possibility.
shot, Chandra. It's an
An observation.
Yeah. It's a probably very factual observation based on his behavior. You know, I will say this. I mean, because looking at him, come on now. But no, it's because of the attention thing again. People who are willing to accept so little and
Little.
give so much so regularly. Normally, I mean, I would even say he's a bad performer. I'm not sure he's ever had sex, and I'm not trying to be mean about it. Yeah, I'm not even trying to be mean about it. I'm trying to be very realistic about it because I think he has a very, very almost juvenile way of seeing relationships. Like, by the time you're his age, you should have already grown out of the idea that, well, the bigger the paycheck, the more likely this random girl who literally doesn't look at me that way is going to sleep with me. Like, really? Bro, you're 40 something. Single. No kids.
Can you go back to the picture of that guy again, please, Char?
Sure. Like, oh, there you go.
Can you hear me now? Good.
I can hear you now. There you go.
Oh no, that's who he looks like. The Verizon guy. Can you hear me
now? Yeah, you know, I've seen where there are some guys that not that well with performance, got some issues or whatever, and they don't, you know, they're not pushy. They just want to be around you.
Yeah, right? Well, you think about it, if you are both insecure about your performance or your size or something like that, right? But obviously you still like women, then actually being close to women is exactly what you would want to be, because you don't want to cross that line into, you know, sexual behavior with them, because more often than not, even if you've had sex, it's probably not ended well for you. Like, as soon as you pull it out, they laugh at you, or, you know, afterwards they never call you, or, you know what I mean? Because it didn't go well for you. So you kind of get socialized into this thing where, well, at least, you know, you like her presence, and maybe if she can fall in love with you first, maybe if blah, 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 blah first, right? Just like our other video with the vacation thing, right?
It's a medical condition.
It's a medical condition, right? But you're hoping she falls in love with everything else, then maybe, just maybe, your micro penis will not be an issue for her, right? Like, that's basically, I kind of feel that vibe from this dude. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not trying to say it in a mean way, but I feel the vibe.
Yeah,
like, what is it?
possibility.
Right? Like, you got the BD energy, right? I think you got LD energy too. Another thing which we didn't talk about, and I thought it was weird that the judge talked about, she mentioned it, she noticed the discrepancy, but then she didn't care. And this is where I thought was annoying, that I said her assumptions always kept leaning to favor him, and I thought it was a little wrong. But so she initially, right, she said, okay, so how were you paying her? Right? And he said, well, first of all, it wasn't 600, it was 300, right? And it was in credit towards a house. Because, I mean, come on, like 300 is even that much, is a little much for actually paying someone for a house. Okay, cool. Then his very next response, he goes, I was paying her in cash. Cash, yes, cash. Yeah, that's how I was paying, cash. Okay, so are you paying with a credit towards rent or cash? And see, that never got picked up again, but I'm like, I listened to that, I watched it, was so sure, and I went, you know what? I think it was supposed to be both. I think, you know, she's gonna work for money, and he was gonna take that money off of her rent and give her $300 in cash. That's what I think it was gonna be, and that's what it was supposed to be. But then, you know, they moved on to something else so quickly, they never really addressed it. But yeah, I don't know. What do y'all think about that part? Because I thought it was weird. No one cares that he couldn't keep that straight, but we care if she can't keep stuff straight. Like, I don't know.
I think that it would be unwise of him to do anything but cash in that situation. Well, actually, it would be better for him to give her a check in that situation. But, you know, he didn't know he was going to be in court a couple weeks later. He thought he was going to be, you know, in a different situation. So cash is actually not smart, because you can't track cash. So he could say he paid her, and then she could say, I never got that payment.
Right.
But
I think Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mhm. No, I was just gonna say I think that was part of the point actually of paying her in cash. That's why I think the 300 was gonna be legit, and then 300 kind of sneaking it into her pocket. That's what I thought he was gonna do with it.
But he's
And,
always helping her at, if you think about it, every turn. He's constantly helping her.
he gave her $100 to cut the grass so he could watch her get nice and sweaty in front of the lawn. I mean, what?
Think about that. Got her cutting grass. She was like, okay, let me get a little money. Let me get a little credit. So he's constantly working with her. That's why you can't really say much about that furniture loans. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and now what did he get? What did he get as his judgment at the end? It wasn't the furniture amount; it was the rent amount that was owed. Correct?
Let's see. He got some of the security deposit back, just some of it, because the judge credited him some of it. I mean, her some of it, and then there were so many different holes and stuff in the wall. He got that too. I mean, there was literally holes in the walls and stuff. The video would have been too long for me to put all that stuff in there, but there was holes in the wall because the baby father had punched holes in the wall. A lot of damages with that, and that's basically where the money was. I know $1,000 of that was from the damages.
Yeah, but no, she did. He actually got everything. So she said that you can't prove to me that it was a loan. So it was a gift. So if you can't prove to me that it was a gift, then obviously it stands to reason that no one is going to gift you that without them expecting you to pay it back. So
oh yeah,
yeah. So
that would have been $8,000 though. So
yeah, minus some stuff. So minus and that's what she did. She basically said, okay, and then she said she adjusted
the ending
stuff.
amount was only about $3,000 though.
It was. So she said, I don't think that the cost of this and the cost of this, I don't think that your costs, sir, were correct. So I'm adjusting those costs. But now, given that, I'm giving you this judgment, this judgment, this judgment, and I'm going to approve these two judgments from her and subtract that from your final amount, and that's going to come up to $3,600, whatever.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that included the rent and potentially repairs, but I don't think that she made her pay back the $8,000 that he couldn't prove was a loan.
She said she did.
How?
I don't know.
Could you run that back, please, Char?
I mean,
sure.
But hold on. But the 8,000, when we said 8,000, though, to be fair, $8,000 was not necessarily how much the loan to pay the couch and the TV back were. That was just what his credit card bill was.
Right.
And so he was saying, right? Yeah, he said his credit card was up to $8,000
done for her.
Yeah,
added up to the 8,000.
Right.
Okay, let me find it.
Work, no one to babysit anymore because this person that had done this decent,
Okay.
just being a
all right,
good
and then
Samaritan.
at some point she tells you her tale of woe on her couch and television that she bought on a payment plan, which if she didn't finish paying, it was going to double.
Absolutely.
And then you loan her the money.
Yes.
According to you loan her the money.
Yes.
According to you, he gives you the money.
Correct.
Why would anybody give you the money? Why would anybody give you, we're talking about $1,500 worth of stuff. Why would he give it to you rather than loan it to you?
Well.
Okay, so that was $1,500.
Yeah. So it's $1,500. So actually then the majority, so with the rent, the damages, and the $1,500, so really the majority then of what she got or what he got was for damages.
Yeah.
And that's what, when she said she was adjusting, because I couldn't remember what she said she adjusted. I remember her saying, I don't think it's as expensive as you're saying it is, so I'm adjusting it a bit, but I'm still gonna find in favor of you. So
right. 3,000 something.
Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, then, 1,500. See, because I guess in my head, until Shadra just brought up the point, in my head that amount was a lot higher. It was around 8,000, and then I'm like, I kind of see a point. $8,000 is a lot to give someone you just met, but 1,500, and you're trying to prove that you built something, and that's it. in American culture, like y'all spend a lot of money on things. Like America's very expensive. I'm noticing this. I was just having this discussion the other day. America, like the things that people spend money on in the dating process alone and how much things cost, or just in personal care, how much cars cost in America. America's very expensive versus Canada, right? So I don't feel like 1,500 for like say a upper middle class person who owns a bunch of properties is such an outrageous amount that, you know, he was literally crying over it and missing it. In fact, based on what he said, I'm not even sure she owed him the full $8,000. I think he's just a sucker. And he's been doing this. And you know what? She just caught him at the wrong time when she asked him for that $25 because someone else just finished asking him for money and someone else just finished saying no to him and someone else just screwed him over and some friend just won't answer his phone call. And, you know, he was just having a bad day. I think he has been doing this, and this is his way of not just getting women, but getting friends. You know, he pays for everybody because he notices that unless he's giving people stuff, unless he's giving people money, unless he's accepting, like, you know, people have to accept things from him, then he can't get them to chill with him. Yes, exactly. That's what I think. I don't know. It's again, seems that way to me.
Yeah, he doesn't really seem like a guy that has a lot of confidence in anything. And then again, like I said, if you have to go online and read what somebody's doing, come on.
You got too much time on your hands if you got time to read what people are doing online.
Right.
You don't notice what you don't even live, you're not in the same building. You're just reading posts and stuff that she posts online, and then you contact her from that.
Exactly. I mean, if you think about how creepy that honestly is, and right, why did that not process to her? Because I would find that creepy as hell if my landlord showed up at my door. Not because, I mean, maybe he lied though initially, right? So maybe he made up some excuses, like someone had heard the noise, something like that, right? And so he came to investigate. Maybe he made up something initially instead of saying, so I saw on your Facebook. Because that would be like
that I'm getting chills up. My hairs on the back of my neck is standing up right now. It's like this dude was just a little bit just ridiculous. This was just crazy. And I think he just rolled the dice. He took them, you know, rolled the dice, and that was that. There's no way he could have thought he was going to win with this. There's just no way.
Right. Charge it to the game, brah. Charge it to the game. Like, I'm sorry. It sounds cold when I say that, but it's not. You know the game you're playing. You know your role in life. Okay. You know the manipulations you are trying to run, all in, you know, the pursuit of something. In this case, you know, the WAP. If it don't work out for you, if you screw up your own game, if she catches you in your game and shuts it down, if she gets a new man, charge it to the game. You don't get to sit there and drag people into court and change the story up now and blah, 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 and try to rely on, you know, God knows what, white privilege something, in order for you to seem like, oh, come on, this is totally unreasonable. I would never do such a thing. I have a girlfriend, remember? Like, bullshit. Like, enough. You know what I mean? Like, y'all just take your L, learn from it. Learn from the L. He didn't learn from the L. So you know what? We're going to see him in a year or two. And it's going to be the same story. For real. It's going to be the same story.
It would be. I was online and I saw my tenant, you know, and she seemed like she's nice, and I understand she was, you know, going through something and needed some help. So I just thought, you know, I'll help her.
The moral of the story is as follows. You put on your cape, you are liable for all damages you incur to yourself and your finances when you put on your goddamn cape. Burn that bitch. Save yourself some time and money.
Facts.
I agree with that. He took a chance, and he just took a chance. He took a chance, and he thought maybe he was going to come out on top, and it didn't work out that way. So he's trying to cut his losses and trying to recoup some of that money. When, this chick had absolutely no intentions on paying it back. She was going to let him give to her as much as possible. She over here fighting, with Jerome. They not getting along. And so now she got to pay all this stuff by herself, which she was probably paying it by herself anyway. And here comes, Captain Saba, and he's like, oh, what is it that you need? Oh, sure. Yeah. I double. Did you say double? I wouldn't want it to do that. How can I help? Here's the number to the creditor.
Now, let us take a moment of silence for this dude's ego. He decided he was going to jump out the window for this chick, and she watched him, and he thought he was going to fly.
Y'all listen.
And he thought he was going to fly.
No, that's true. That's 1,000% true. But that's 1,000% true. But listen, I think y'all are doing this girl dirty. I would like, please, if we could roll the tape of her telling the story of that, right? When he moved out and whatever. I want to hear that again because I feel like y'all are doing her dirty. Because
Ruby, how doing her dirty? How?
You're trying to act like she put on a show. You don't think the girl could legitimately be crying because her years-long relationship ended and now she's suddenly alone with the daughter she didn't plan on being alone with, trying to figure stuff out, can't make no ends meet? Come on now.
Baby mama number 4. She already knew he was going to leave her. The chances that he would leave were very high.
Vonda, okay, no, we ain't playing this game. Here's the thing, okay? I refuse. Unless the man you're dealing with has millions, no woman is sitting there and saying, you know what? I want to be baby mama number 4 to this dude. I figure he'll stick around for about a year and a half, but it's all good. No, nobody's doing that. Okay, nobody is doing that, especially not with some violent dude who's punching up your house. Okay, no, you do stuff like this because you fall in love, your senses go out the window, and you're an idiot for a temporary amount of time. Okay,
those idiot moments cost. Those idiot moments cost.
Yes, and she was crying about it because that cost hurts. And this guy said, "Ooh, yes." Vulnerable, pain. These are my specialties. This is when I swoop in and save the day, and it's gonna earn me some walk. That's not why are we trying to downgrade her pain of the cost? The cost hurts. No. I want to hear her tell the story again because I feel like y'all are giving her a bum deal.
Wait a minute, I'm looking for my violin. Give me a second.
Hey, welcome to the a-hole corner, Vonda.
Because I'm sorry. You know what? I'm not trying to down this chick, but my thing is that you know what? She knew full well. She knew full well, and I don't give a damn. It's like, oh, I'm in all this hurt and pain, but you know what? It hurts so much. Yes, of course I will go ahead and post. There we go.
But see, the thing about it is not only did she have these problems, but she was putting it on blast on Facebook. She was throwing the bait for a Captain Save a Hole, and he took that shit hook, line, sinker. That thing was all up in his gills.
Okay, wait, hold on. How old do we think this chick is? How old do we think she is?
She's 33.
32.
Okay.
That's my guess.
So if she's there, then she is a mid to early millennial. Now, I want to point something out. The majority of us come from a different generation. We're either old millennials, Generation Xers, right? We're not part of this technological boom era of human beings who now live solely through the internet. Like, you can't have a feeling and it's real unless you posted it somewhere to testify and other people have clicked like or put a crying emoji or something, so that way other people have witnessed these feelings, right? It's a different world, right? So we can't necessarily I would say with older people, if they're doing it. Go ahead. I will
because
accept your disagreement, sir.
you could say that it's a millennial thing, but you know better than to put your business out there when shit going bad.
Thank you, Chandra. I agree with that. I'm
No.
like, look, I'm not going for that. I'm not going for that.
You was putting that out there to get attention, and she got the attention.
Yes, no, but that's my whole point. Like these younger generations, young millennials, Generation Z and down, their entire life plays out online. That's the only place their life exists. That's the only place their feelings exist. That's where their hopes and dreams exist. That's where their failures exist. That's where everything exists for them, right? So they actually experience reality very differently, right? And that's why I said it's different than older people using the internet, because we have a completely different reality and therefore a completely different relationship with the internet. Right, we were born and raised under completely different rules. Like we forget how much power social media really has on people who grew up with social media like that. And so they're not like, to us, it seems like, oh my God, all this attention whoring. Attention whoring for older people is very different than for younger people, because for younger people, everything they do is attention whoring, right? Like literally nothing has significance in life unless you're attention whoring for it. Whereas for us, people who are doing that are doing it as a manipulation to gain something. They do it constantly, not to gain anything other than attention. No, they're just looking for attention. They're looking for sympathy. They're not looking for a Captain Save-A-Ho. Someone older does it, they're looking for a Captain Save-A-Ho. That's why they did it. It's the only reason they did it. And so I think we have to evaluate these two groups on two different parameters. That's why I want to know how old she was. But the second thing is, I'll say this. Now, Vonda, you and I, we are of a breed of person. I'm sure Char's like this as well, which is why Char don't play, right? Where we always make sure that we are okay. Doesn't matter what situation we are in, we are going to make sure we are okay. If this falls apart, I am fine. If this, I am fine. I am covered. I am okay, right? Not everyone has that level of sense. Right. And I'm not going to say just common sense, but some people don't have that sense within them. So they throw themselves, they dive into stuff wholeheartedly, head first and whatever. And they just expect that things are going to go well. And so they really are entirely unprepared when things do not. And I think that a person who is entirely prepared versus someone who's entirely unprepared, you're going to have two completely different levels of like shredded vulnerability. And you're just lost, like, oh God, I don't know what to do. And then you're in that position and someone says, I'm gonna save you. You don't see it as like you see it like, oh my God, there's nice people in the world still, right? Like we are so bitter and jaded that we have lost our ability to think anybody in the world thinks like that anymore. But they do. Some people really think like, oh, there's still goodness in the world. I can't believe you would do this. Thank you. Really? Are you sure? Yo, I got it, girl. Don't worry. Trust me. I have.
You know what? But for me, there's a serious imbalance in this. If this man dished out all this type of money, and she thought, the equivalent, to like, returning the favor was a thank you. That no.
$1,500. $1,500 to your landlord you think is rich because you think all landlords are rich because you never own shit in your life. Very different than I'm not going to argue that later on she might have figured some stuff out, which is why, oh, he needs a haircut, I'll just go to my landlord, right? Yes. By then she's toughened up a little bit, she's smartened up a little bit, she's opened her eyes. I'm just saying, in the moment that this $1,500 thing happened, when that happened initially, when you are literally, your whole life is in chaos, you plan really for nothing. Because people who are smart planners do not rent TVs and couches and pay them off and have it set up in such a way that the only way you could pay it off is if there are two people living in your household, right? And knowing that at the end of all of that, oh my God, you're going to literally pay like triple the value of each one of those things, but at least you can have one. Smart people don't do stuff like that, right? Real planners don't do stuff like that.
Exactly.
We never said she was smart. And as a matter of fact, as a 30-year-old woman, she's been around long enough to know that shit ain't free.
Well, how old was she when this happened, though? Wait, wait, Char, when was do you know how old or new this show was? This episode was?
2020.
Okay. So then she was maybe she was probably mid-20s then when this happened. She
No,
said 2016. Mm-hmm. And
no,
she's
no,
32
no, no,
now.
no, no. He took over the apartments in 2015. This occurred in 2018, didn't it?
Well, no, because 2018 would have been, I guess, when the blow up happened. So
Yeah.
if he took over the apartments in 2015, but then I swear I thought I heard 2016, but okay. 2015, so then 2017. So then that is
Yeah, she's still
still
30 years old.
no, then she's 29. But again,
30
but
years
we're
old.
guessing, but we don't know how old she is. We just guess how old she is. So I'm gonna say mid to late 20s.
Old enough to know damn better.
Exactly.
Listen, that might be true, but I think that all the time about a lot of people's behavior that they don't necessarily see for themselves. I honestly do. I also think we have an issue where people are not growing up. They're not growing up on
Yes.
schedule like they should. So they are stuck in adolescence a lot longer. And adolescence is like a form of insanity in a way. Like really it is. So they actually stay young and dumb. The way young, dumb people are. You might be brilliant in a lot of ways, but you're young and dumb in all the ways that count a lot longer. So, I want to add that too. But I honestly don't think initially this started as manipulating because I think that the only person who was running a game here was the landlord. I think eventually she caught on to the fact that he was running a game. Yes. And I give you the credit on, saying that, Chandra. Eventually she did catch on. Eventually she knew what was up, which is why she started changing her behavior towards him. But not enough to not ask him for stuff, right? But just like enough to try to mitigate some of it. But I don't think it's the initial thing I'm defending her on. Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I will agree with you on that. I don't think it was her initial thing to just, I'm just going to try to get over on this dude. My thing is with her is that I feel like the judgment was as it should be. Both of you fools are adults. And both of you guys did something that you should not have done, or you should have been more careful to protect yourself. And guess what? You're both going to pay. Now, if he, was really out, 8 G's to her, and he only ended up getting 3 or whatever back, in the judgment. And she's like, oh no, it was all a gift. And, the judge is like, honey, that's a no. Everything is not a gift, and you need to grow up and realize that you're going to have to pay for something at some point, so they both are going to end up paying, and hopefully they learn a lesson. She can't just keep taking people's, money and thinking they're not going to expect anything back, and this fool can't keep giving out money thinking, I'm going to get some, some sympathy booty or lucky booty, and the booty never comes through, never comes in the mail.
That's
Vonda, I have a renewed appreciation for the way you say booty.
I'm like, these people is just too much. It's just too much. So no, they're both adults, and he looks to be, some years older than her.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So he damn well knows better.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she's getting a judgment against her, she better learn.
Well, she better, but I still think the judgment is wrong. I think if she appealed it, she could probably get it thrown out. And the reason why I think that again. No, because the judgment on her paying back.
She needs to take that judgment and and pay. And when she got to pay that money, she needs to realize, stuff in life is not free.
No, ma'am. Listen,
her mama didn't teach her that. The judge is going to teach her that.
No, ma'am. No, and I'll tell you why. Because she never should have had to pay back that $1,500. Because if the only reason, right, that the judge is making her pay the $1,500 is because she can't prove it was a gift, even though he can't prove it was a loan. And if anything, only one of them has any verbiage at all in regards to that money. And that one text message that refers to it very much sounds like it was a gift, not like it was a loan, not like she owed it back. compiling all those facts, she didn't owe that $1,500. Now, does she owe other things? Yeah. If you destroy someone's apartment, right? Well, when you move out and stuff, yeah, you lose your security deposit, but keep your security deposit. Yeah, hell yeah, he's going to. It's destroyed. Yeah, you lost your security deposit. Boom.
And you're liable for all damages.
Right. You're liable for all additional damages incurred. Of course. Should she have to pay that extra month of rent? Not the December month of rent, but the month of rent she didn't pay that she lived there. Yes. Right. So do I think that there are some things she should have to pay? Yes. But when we're talking about the gift, and we all know it was a gift, I don't have to pay back a gift just because you attached expectations to the gift that you never told me and that I never delivered on your expectations that you never told me about what I was supposed to be giving you in regards to the gift that I accepted when I was at my lowest, most vulnerable point, and you offered to me while I was feeling dazed and confused.
Violin? Where is that violin?
Girl, listen, you keep looking for that violin all you want. I am still right. Facts is facts, man. Facts is facts. Okay.
Here's something I will say, right? If you look at the total value, right? The total value of what she was asked to pay, I think it comes into. So you've got 600, right? Well, 3,600 comes up to 600 times 3, right? So that's 600 being deposit, right? 600 for the month that she was there. 600 for the month that because she didn't. Her lease was up in December, but she didn't give proper notice, including a date when she was moving out. So that's 3 months. That's $1,800 right there. $1,000 for the apartment.
No, but she paid for October. She paid for October.
She didn't pay for October. No. October was the month she didn't pay for, but she said she said that she had done work for it. Yeah, she said she was going to. So that's $1,800 right there, plus $1,000 plus late fees. That's $2,800. $1,000 for the damages to the apartment plus late fees would come up to about the same $3,600 anyway. So yeah, I feel like the judgment number was there.
No. No, sorry, you're tacking too many extra things onto there.
No, you damage your apartment, you're gonna take your entire deposit. That's $600 right there. The month that you didn't pay, that's $600 right there. The month after that, because it was on your lease, but you didn't give proper notice, is also there. Any landlord's gonna do that to you. So that's $1,800 plus damages to the apartment, an extra $1,000. That's $2,800 right there. Plus late fees on those 3 months or interest on those 3 months.
No, you don't know how much the damages are. You don't know how much the damages cost, and the judge thought he highly overestimated what the damages were, and that's why she adjusted it. You might be overestimating it too, sir.
I'm just saying the number seems about right.
But
so wrong. So wrong.
I will say about the $1,500 for the first initial contact. I will agree that really shouldn't be brought up, but we know how people are. They go back to the beginning. That is clearly a gift because that was the initial contact. I saw you post on Facebook, what happened, and the guy, he was abusive, whatever, and you had to put him out, and you don't know how you're gonna get to work. And I understand. You need anything? So I get that.
Yeah, some money. Oh my God, that just doesn't even sound right. You need anything?
Well, whatever he said, however the way he posed it,
he probably did. But it's like, dude, really, dude, it's like.
So I get it as far as that not being a loan. I accept that. I surely do, because that was the initial contact. That was in I think the month of July, but it was the first loan if it was a loan. So there was no time between then and November was any payment made.
Right. You have to any request made for payment either.
Because if she would have started to pay on it, then that's acknowledging that it is a loan.
Debt, right?
So I'll give, I'll agree to that. No worries. I'll agree to that.
And not to you, Char, to everyone else.
Did any of my calculations include that $1,500 in the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
It has not.
It has not. However, and here's my issue with your calculations: is that the judge sat there with the actual real money and numbers in front of her face and came up with $3,600. Okay, 30. It was more than 3,000. It was $3,600, right, including the 1,500. And I feel like she also said interest on the loan, but I don't know 1,000%. So I'm not going to add that. But I'm going to say this. So all I'm doing is taking her initial judgment and saying she shouldn't have to pay the $1,500. Yeah. So if you say that, oh well, actually she would have been paying $2,000. Okay, I can say that, or $2,100 because the judge said $3,600. $3,600 is what the judge came up with. Then I think it should be $3,600 minus $1,500 because that's what the judge used real numbers in front of her and came up with the $3,600.
Now, when was the last time you looked at a lease really seriously? So you know that within the leases you have clauses for really, really tiny things, but let's say you have a blind that's got a broken leaf on the blind. That's a $50 replacement fee. It doesn't matter if the blind costs you $20 at Walmart. That's a $50 replacement for every single one of those blinds that's damaged, right?
However, here's the issue though. Again, he came with the numbers. We can't add new magical numbers we think he should have added. Okay, we can't do that. And so I'm going to say this also. He was only looking for 1 month of rent from her. One. And so therefore, she must have had her rent paid up to date minus 1 month. That's it. 1 month. She said she had her rent paid in full. He said she had her rent paid in full, except for that 1 month she didn't pay, right? Which was the month of December. Which means she
didn't pay October either.
No. You can't add that. You can't add that though. You can't advocate for him when he said she only owes me 1 month. Look, she already said he only owes one. If he said out of his mouth she owes me 1 month, so I'm charging for 1 month of rent. That all that is in question is that 1 month of rent. You can't say, well, actually it should be 3. It don't matter. He doesn't think it should be 3. Maybe
him shortchanging himself doesn't change my judgment.
Hey, you know what? Listen, that's what it comes down to. Okay, it's the facts presented in court. It's just like he didn't bring. He wanted to prove. Oh no, wait, listen. The damages are so extreme, and there's all this stuff in the damages that aren't in her video as she left. It's not in her video of when she moved in. But then he's gonna say, oh well, yeah, I have it from the appraisal. I just didn't bring the appraisal, but I swear the appraisal said this much.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. He's taking the L for not bringing the appraisal. He's taking that L. But.
He didn't bring the appraisal because he knew that what he put down was bullshit. Because he put his emotional pain and suffering in his cost as well, right? Because he never got to walk. Boom. That's what it is. He knew his appraisal was not going to support the amount he was asking for, so he didn't bring it. He owes properties. He knows what papers he needs to bring. He can't claim ignorance on that. He didn't bring it for a reason. And it's because he knew at the end of the day wasn't going to be supported. He probably only paid like $150. You know, he got his buddy, did it for $150. Done. No, right?
He only paid $150, and I can explain to you how he did that. But what you can actually write up on the damages compared to, like, for example, if I move out of my apartment and I don't have my rug steam cleaned by a professional group and give them the receipt to prove that it was done by a professional, they can charge me $175 for that. For not having a rug steam cleaned. Even if I get the rug doctor and steam clean it myself, they can charge me $175 for that. There's a lot of little tiny clauses in these leases where they will nickel and dime you to death.
Wow.
That is true. And if he could have done it, he would have done it. And it would be there.
He could have, but he didn't because he was emotionally
because it's not in his lease. It was not in his lease, or rather, it was not in her lease that carried over. Apparently, one or the other, but it wasn't there because if it was there, he would have added it to his list because he wanted to talk about how aggrieved he was, right? And it's the same point that I was making earlier. If you're there to prove how aggrieved you are and how horrible the other person is, you don't leave stuff out. You add as much as you possibly can. You don't just make the appraisal amount super huge and 1 month rent. No. You put as many months rent there as you can. You put as many things from that they broke from the lease as you can. You put it all there. You put as much as you can. So if that's what he put and he didn't put all that stuff there, it's because he couldn't. Otherwise, he would have. Right? Just like if she could have called him a predator pervert, she would have. She couldn't. She didn't have it. Didn't happen before. That's why I don't think it did. Because otherwise she would have said it. Right. No.
Well,
I'm seeing right now how much one of us loves to argue. I take the back seat right now.
I know. Chandra is such an argumentative person. It's terrible, guys. Right? I know.
Wait,
But
hello? Are we in the same room?
we are absolutely in the same room. It's just I have 2 against 1. So unfortunately I have to speak twice as much. That's just what it is.
Oh my goodness.
Just too much. Tier merch.
Yes. Merch.
Okay, guys, I have a question. You know, now A-hole corner. I know you're gonna want to make this one very cut and dry, but I hope that you can expand a little bit, because I honestly think when you get to a certain age in life, it's very hard for you to change, like, kind of who you are and how you do things and whatever, right? I think regardless of if we disagree on the details, we all agree that Buddy does not have an efficient, like, game for getting women, for getting the WAP, for, you know, looks like he lacks a lot of confidence and this and that. What does a man who's this old, what does he do to change that? It's not like he can go find himself a mentor. He's like 50, you know, like, what does he do now to change that? He's not going to have college. He's not going to have a bunch of the things that, you know, we learn social experiences from. So how does he retrograde go back and get it?
If he's trying to get the experience and build experience up, and, you know, there's a couple of little towns in Nevada in which prostitution is legal. He can get all the experience and coaching he wants there.
Chandra, I wouldn't have said that, you know, but you know what? For this dude, you know, for the age that he is, and he's looking to be, you know, maybe, you know, mid to late 40s, possibly early 50s. At some point you get a certain age, and if you don't have it, you're not going to get it. And for him, he needs to cut his losses. And I'm not saying there's no hope. I just think that what he needs to be practical. The way that a man's mind works is very logical, very practical, and he needs to get out of his feminine space, because right now he's in a feminine space because he wanted this girl. So he was going to give all the money he possibly could and in an effort to get the girl, but he's putting up this money with no conditions. There are no conditions with this money. Like I said, Nate from Set It Off was not playing. He's like, look, I got the money, Stoney, but you're not getting it until I'm done. And this dude, he did not make that very clear. So if he does not assert himself, then he's going to continue to have problems, and he's going to continue to be out of money. So that's something he needs to learn, like today. You know, I don't know if he could take a dating coach class, and, you know, or go and take, you know, a couple of red pills, and, you know, he's going to instantaneously changed. So it's like really, really, really bad for him. With her, she has hope. She's got hope. I give a lot more to the chick than I do to him.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, red pills will not help this man. He will end up being one of these dudes sitting around crying about how these women took advantage of him his entire life. He needs to burn the cape. He needs to go and get himself some confidence from somewhere. There's a little town out in the outskirts of Nevada somewhere. Just get your confidence up and change your life. You know, go hit the gym, get some testosterone injections, do something.
You know what? You hit on something. I was gonna say to you, like, how would you get your confidence up at this age? Again, hitting the gym. Like, people don't recognize the kind of adrenaline and endorphins and whatever your body's flooded with when you are legitimately working out, really putting that effort in, not once a week but really, putting putting your grind in. It's huge, and it is a big confidence booster. Now, I've seen this happen with many people, like friends of mine, men I've dated, and whatever, where their masculinity scores, like, and they didn't start super low, but they went from like 7.5, 8 to like an 11, and not in a toxic way and whatever, just in a super overly confident way. Because they felt so great about themselves. They felt great about what they were accomplishing. Now they could feel their muscles as they move. And for men, that's very important. When men move around and they know that they got muscles to flex and stuff. It feels good. It's not even about them getting to the place where they already have the beach body. It's just feeling that in there as they're making that transformation. And they just walk around differently. The shoulders go, all broad. And, they start walking around like they got big, huge muscles they got to contend with, like the muscle
there's
guys.
nothing more sexier than a man who is confident in himself. And when you can see that confidence, and I'm not talking about arrogance, it can borderline arrogance. But that confidence, it's like, well, damn, he confidence as hell. And I like that, and this dude does not have any of that. He doesn't even hold his head up. He speaks very meekly and whatnot. So she just thought, oh, this is just harmful, Pete. He's no big deal, and and he's dishing out hundreds of dollars to a chick he doesn't even know. He doesn't even know her. I don't care how nice she was, how pretty she was. He doesn't know her. It wasn't like it was his niece or his little, his cousin. He don't know this woman.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I want to look at that one too, because on one side, I think some of these guys, right, like they get a bunch of these things twisted, right? So it's almost like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like men want to protect and provide, let's say, right? But then they get the concept of that very twisted in their heads, and they think they are being men by providing to these random women who don't know them from Adam, and whatever. Like, they think they're being men. So even if there isn't, and I swear to God, I'm not even gonna lie, I can't remember whose channel I was watching. I was watching someone's channel though, and they were reviewing this guy's date that he called a date. It was not a date. I think it must have been Abba and Preach. Anyway, so this guy goes on this date, and it's creepy the whole time. He's filming it the whole time, right? And he's like asking her weird questions like, am I doing good so far? It seems like I'm doing good, right? Seems like you're having a great time, right? Blah, blah, blah. But from the second he got there, she was already talking about the guy she was going on an actual date with after this little get together that they were having. She even clarifies at one point that this is not a date, they're just friends, right? And he said, yeah, of course. But then looks at the camera. Because he explains before anything that, oh, well, this is basically his hustle. This is the game he runs, right? Anything you can do to get a girl to go out with you is a positive. So even if you go lie to her and tell her you just want to be friends, you don't see her in that way either, you're just hanging out as friends, it doesn't matter. As long as you can get her to go out with you, that's a win. If you can get her to spend time with you, that's a win. You can get her to laugh at your jokes, that's a win. And then even when she was walking next to him and he was just being super creepy, and she gets into her phone to like probably be texting the dude she's about to go on a date with, right? Then he starts asking if it's the guy, right? And she's like, okay, you need to lock it off. Like, just stop. At some point, stop. And then later, check this out. Later, he's walking down the street and he sees the girl that he just went on the friend date with the guy that she's going to date. And he walks up to the window and he says, what's up? And he tells her, I just went on a date with her and blah, blah, blah. And like, it was just the weirdest thing. He was like talking about how he struck out, but this and that. Like, he was telling this new guy, like, everything. And it was really pathetic because he had nothing good to say. Like, it's not like he wasn't trying to boss this guy. He actually even turned around at the end and said, hey, Samantha, or whatever her name is, I totally approve, like, of this coupling. You guys are going to make a great couple. And like Buddy actually felt so bad for him. He got out of the car and like, let me give you a hug. Like he just felt bad for this loser. But this guy didn't see it like he was being a loser. He's sitting there smiling. He's filming the whole thing, and he's thinking, "Well, I'm being a man, right?" And the
When
better
you
man
fail
won.
so hard, you can't see that you're failing.
Yes, exactly. Everything about it was just so cringy. And he didn't realize it because he thought he was being a man. The whole time he thought he was being a man. He was even looking for confirmation from her and even from the guy. He was being a man.
Man hit number one, you don't need confirmation from another man that you're being a man.
Right. Oh God, it was bad. So true. Why do these guys do that though? Like are they getting it from women, or is it something else?
I think that this is a guy that sounds very much like that class of people who are going to be classed as the next terrorist, the incels. He's socially awkward. He doesn't know he's socially awkward. He thinks he's cool, and then but at the same time, hey, yeah, am I doing this right? Hey, you're having a good time, right? Yeah, I think you're having a good time. Why wouldn't you have a good time? You're with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. That was exactly it. Did you see it?
I didn't see it, but
oh, God.
I know the type, and there is no helping the type. They need somebody to be honest with them, but you know, anybody who's honest with them is likely to be a bitch or a hater. So,
see, I was initially going to suggest that they find one honest woman that they truly can have platonic feelings for to tell them the truth. Because if that's the case, like if you're my friend, I would tell you you're being disgusting. I would tell you no woman would ever sleep with you dressing like that, looking like that, acting like that, whatever. And I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you what you need to do instead. Which might be helpful because, you know, you're looking for, you know, a woman's perception. And I'm telling you all the things that you're doing wrong, all the things that are massive turnoffs, like all the signals and signs you're missing. But do you think that like a guy like that could have a female friend, or like is every female friend automatically going to become, maybe she'll be my wife?
Every female friend is the potential, is the, what was it that Al Roger said? The possibility of sex. For those guys, because they're so desperate, they can't have a female friendship.
Ouch.
Every woman that's in their lives is friend zoning them by force.
Okay.
So
this guy, like the guy from the video, has a girlfriend who's willing to like publicly, you know, cape for him. So why is he still like he has the P, the V, whatever you want to call it?
Okay, so he's the guy who has P2 but not P4.
What?
So let's break down DeAndre's equation once more. P2 times P4 equals P. So P2, that's provision, right? But your provision, so he's able to provide for this woman because he's a landlord. He's making income off of these apartments. He's actually got a retirement plan, whatever. You know, he's not hurting for money because most people can't find $500 to loan somebody, much less find $1,500 to loan a woman at random, right? Yeah. But he had it, right? So he's not hurting for money. He's providing, right? But he lacks any semblance of protection. But the woman that's with him is most likely just staying with him because, well, you know, she doesn't have to worry about going hungry, right? But she's also, in my personal opinion, she, you know, this is the a-hole corner. I think she's cheating on him because she doesn't really find him manly. But she'll cape him on Facebook and, you know, make it seem like she'll protect her meal ticket, but she won't actually. Yeah, she doesn't really feel enough for him, which is why, you know, she doesn't care that he's out on these quote unquote dates with these women. You know, she pretends like she cares, but that night she wasn't going, "Why are you coming home naked?" Why was she not in his bed waiting for him?
They were texting.
Yeah.
why were they? I don't know if they were fighting. They were texting for sure, and that's why he was getting so wasted. Probably because she was telling him what a loser he is. Yeah.
Cold-blooded.
I'm just saying the evidence doesn't seem like this woman is there because she truly enjoys being around him. Because he's got a lot of time to be stalking other women.
True. Although, to be fair, and I'm going to be honest, since we have lacked a Ruby story time the whole entire night, I should give you one now. So I once dated someone, and it was me and him, like he was my boyfriend and everything. And then my girl and her man. And so we're all sitting together in her basement watching movies. Right. And sometimes we're getting on our phone, answering text messages, whatever, it's the new age. And years later, she told me, actually, because we were brand new friends, like we didn't know each other like super well, and she knew him more than she knew me. But once we got really close, she's like, I have to confess something to you. So remember that time we were all watching movies? Yeah. So your man kind of propositioned me. What do you mean my man propositioned you? And she was like, yeah, no, he asked me if he could give me head at some point. And he did what? And she's like, yeah. And so I was like, your girl's sitting right next to you. You know that, right? And he said, I could drop her off at home and come back and, we could do this thing. And she was just so blown away by the fact that, like, he would do this. But I mean, we stayed together for years after that. He loved me. He was very attentive and caring and blah, blah, blah. And, vice versa. But I mean, I was very, very much loved him. But he was still a hoe who had a slight fetish for her specifically. And yeah, so that happened. So I mean, it can happen. It can happen, like, even if everything else is good. Like if he's got some issues, then he might be chasing, random WAP all over the place, even though theoretically everything is fine at home. Because it has happened to poor Ruby.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you for story time. You guys, you want to hear more story time, you need to check us out over there on Keep the Beat on CRBJ Wednesday nights. Hump Day. Check us out over there, guys. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to play a commercial for you. Well, why not? You don't know what I'm talking about? I'll do that. I can do that for you. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Thank you for your likes. Those that contributed to the channel, I appreciate you. Thank you for the conversation, everyone. Hope to see you guys tomorrow for article reactions, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And also check out Mr. DJ Music. He's going to have a show tomorrow. It's already up at 11 a.m. Central, 12 noon Eastern. You can check them out. The link is also in my description as far as where to find Mr. DJ Music. And again, you guys stay safe. Hope to see you tomorrow. And until then, peace.
Cheers, y'all.
Join Char Willie and Classic Ruby for their radio show, Keep the Beat. They broadcast every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on CRBJ, Classic R&B Jams. There are discussions of the songs, and that can take you back down memory lane. If you missed the live broadcast, no worries. Replays are uploaded on Mixcloud. So, follow JustAskChar Advice channel on Mixcloud and you will receive the notification when these broadcasts are uploaded.